On today's menu is a delicious dal recipe with spinach, which happens to be one of my favorites, and you're going to like it too. Hey everyone, Namaskar and welcome to Curries with Bumbi. I used yellow split peas, that is matar ki dal, but you can also use red lentils, yellow lentils, moong dal or tuvar dal, whatever you like. I rinsed the split peas very well and in they go into my instant pot. You can also use a regular pressure cooker or just cook it in a regular pot, but in that case it will take more time. So I always use a pressure cooker whenever it comes to cooking beans and lentils. I grated some ginger, and whenever it comes to grating ginger or garlic, I always use this microplane. It grates just like ginger garlic paste, and I always like using fresh ginger and garlic paste. Then add about 2 cups of hot water, a teaspoon of turmeric powder and a teaspoon of oil that will prevent the dal from foaming up. Pressure cook for 12 minutes if using an instant pot or 10 minutes if using a regular pressure cooker. And if you're cooking just in a regular pot, it will take about 30 minutes or more, depending on the quality of lentils, and you may also need to add more water if you see the water drying up. After 12 minutes, all the pressure needs to be released naturally, and only then open the lid of your cooker. If using yellow split peas, it will look somewhat like this, but I want a smooth texture. I use my trusty dal ghudni as called in Bengali, but you can use a wire whisk or a hand blender. This was given by my mom when I first came to the USA, because she knew her daughter cannot stay a single day without having dal. Yes, my friends, I really love dal. In between, I added a teaspoon of salt. Now see how the whole appearance has changed, and this is what we are looking for. Next, heat a pot over medium-high heat. Add 2 heaped teaspoons of ghee. You can also use oil or a combination of oil and butter. Use whatever you like. As soon as the ghee melts, lower the heat to medium-low and add a teaspoon of cumin seeds, that is jeera. Along with that, add a dry red chilli and half a teaspoon of hing, that is asafoetida. Do not allow the ghee to turn too hot before adding these, as then the seeds will burn and will make the dish bitter. Add a good amount of chopped garlic because garlic and spinach complement each other so well. Give a brief stir and then add chopped onion. I added 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Stir everything on medium heat. You do not need to brown the onions too much. Stir just for a few minutes till they start getting little soft. Next is spice time. We had already added some turmeric powder earlier to the dal. So now we need only half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, then half a teaspoon of Kashmiri chilli powder or any chilli powder of your choice, and a heaped teaspoon of ground coriander, that is dhania powder. Stir on low heat for just a second, and then chopped tomatoes go in to brighten up everything. You do not want the tomatoes to turn into a mush, so just a few minutes of stirring should be fine. And then the chopped spinach goes in and makes everything look more beautiful. Save a little bit of spinach as you will need it later. I always wash the spinach very well first and then chop them. Now on high heat, stir for about 3 to 4 minutes. Then the dal tumbles down gloriously. I did add about 1/3 cup of water to the dal as it was looking bit thick to me. So add water if you feel your dal is too thick, or do not add any water if you want your dal to be of very thick consistency. Allow it to come up to a rolling boil on high heat. Do a taste test at this point and adjust the seasonings. When it comes up to a boil, simmer it on medium-low heat for about 5 minutes. 5 minutes done and the dal is looking perfect, but more deliciousness is on the way as we will be giving a tadka to this. Heat 1 or 2 tablespoons of oil in a small pan. Do not allow the oil to be smoking hot. I de-seeded 2 dry red chilies and added it. This will give a smoky flavor to the oil. Then heat off and a teaspoon of sweet paprika goes in. Remember, my friends, take the pan off heat and then add the paprika to the oil, or else the paprika will burn. And then This bubbly goodness is poured over the dal, and this is what is known as giving tadka. And my friends, this really lifts up a humble dal to that ultimate level of gorgeousness and deliciousness. Finally, a dash of lemon juice to bring in a freshness. And remember, I told you to save a little bit of spinach for later? Those go in now. They will definitely get cooked as the dal is extremely hot. At the same time, their green color will be retained compared to the spinach that was added earlier. Now, I forgot to mention that I did save a little bit of that paprika oil so that I can garnish on top. I added some chopped coriander and drizzled the paprika oil on top. You can also use Kashmiri red chilli powder instead of sweet paprika. But remember, that will add more heat to the dish. Have this with naan, roti, rice or bread. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching this video and do leave a comment for me. Bye bye.